Let Terrell Owens do something like that. I mean, Terrell Owens couldn't even confront another player on his team. If he confronted another player on his team, then he's team obliterator. But to walk up to the head coach and bump him, knock him off balance, had to be pulled away a little bit. What would happen if he was black? This is kind of like the January 6th, where the Capitol got stormed. If you swap out black people for white people, we would have seen much harsher penalties. Now, the people who did storm the Capitol did face charges and so on and so forth. But if they was black, they would have been killed right there in the Capitol building. It would have been a slaughter. If he was black, Travis Kelce wouldn't have finished the Super Bowl. He would have been sent home, out the stadium. Terrell Owens getting pissed off at quarterbacks not getting him the ball and so on and so on and so forth. Man, he was complaining about the same stuff, but they just labeled him as impossible to work with. And Terrell Owens was still trying to be picked up by football teams. Terrell Owens was saying that he thought like he could still get out there and play, and he thought that he was going to get an opportunity out the league. And it was all based on people saying that he was difficult to work with, essentially. He ain't never did nothing like that. So it'll be very interesting to see if any punishment whatsoever comes down on Travis Kelce, because now we're setting a precedent to say, you know, hey man, you got a problem with the coach. You don't think the coach is doing his job good enough. You might have to go over there and holler at him about it. Get right in his face, motivate him, fire him up. So players now go and approach your coach. The coach ain't put you in the game. You're not in the game. You're not getting targeted enough. You're not getting the ball handed to you enough. The defense ain't right. Anything that you think that the coach is doing wrong, if you got some stature on the team, you go to that coach and you confront him in the middle of the game. You know, like you basically just, you know, shaking him out of his days or something. You go get right in your coach face, because this is how Super Bowls are won. You know, you give a black person an inch, they gonna want to take a mile. So you setting this precedent to confronting a coach is in bounds. Now let's see how the league looks. I'm seeing so much NFL Taylor Swift post. And I understand you might want to bring in a new demographic, but to allow Travis Kelce to run amok, physically assault his coach, because he's a big 30-year-old tight end, cornbread fed, strong man. What I'm looking at looks bad, but if it's all in the game of football, okay, I understand it. A boxing match looks bad. Shit, football itself looks bad if the right hit happens. So if this is just football, then it's just football, and I accept that, and I'm cool with it. It ain't no bicker. But the problem is, don't impose double standards on Antonio Brown and Randy Moss and Terrell Owens and Cam Newton. Cam Newton, they said Cam Newton was a problem because he would sit on the bench by himself with a towel over his head. Demonized. Demonized. This is the MVP of the league. Cam Newton. And he was demonized for sitting by himself on the bench with the towel over his head. They said he got his body language is bad and da 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 da. But Travis Kelce is getting excuses made for him by national media, black and white. It's in the heat of the moment, or he wants to motivate and he's just fired up. Now you got some media that's calling it out, saying that it's terrible. But I've heard enough big time analysts say that it's part of the game. And it might be, but it wasn't part of the game for Cam Newton. But they put that smear double standard campaign. And now Cam Newton still could be in the NFL playing quarterback at a high level. Because to me, I never felt like Cam Newton had any pieces to help him. If he had that San Francisco 49ers team where Brock Purdy at, they would have won this Super Bowl with Cam Newton. You know, I don't know. I might be wrong, but seems like it. Seems like it. But for Travis Kelce to get away with this, and they want to demonize Randy Moss, give black players the same level of grace. When they get fired up about something, when they get into an argument with a coach or a coordinator or something, don't show them as this destructive force that's in the locker room tearing the team apart, or somebody that's completely uncoachable and doesn't want to listen. The NFL did not want Travis Kelce get ejected from the game because Taylor Swift, like, things ain't going the way Taylor Swift wants them to go. And looking at the NFL's Instagram, they serious about Taylor Swift. They love that partnership, as they should. Get a brand new demographic, 15 million people to start watching the sport every week. Then yeah, you tell me what you think in the comments below. If Travis Kelce was Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, Cam Newton, Chad Johnson, or Antonio Brown, would he have got sent home, not finished the Super Bowl? Is there a double standard among black and white players and how they are looked at for their competitive spirit? Let me know in the comments.